All right, so we are back. That's right, 2 videos on back-to-back days. I'm flipping these things over like Jake Paul and Logan Paul flipped their non-existent hairline. I mean, come on. But today is a special one because it's the final video in our lead-up to Jake versus Tyron, August 29th. We're doing a watch party, 3 p.m. Pacific. I better see you there. And today's video is going to be based around the press conference that we just saw happen today. A lot of stuff went down. I haven't actually watched this entire thing, but I know the thing you guys are here for. I am giving my official prediction right here in this video. Before we get into that, there's one thing you guys always can bet on, and that's that I'm gonna be here covering these events for you guys always and forever. We might as well be married to each other at this point. Consensually, 21 plus only, of course. Everybody else, y'all my kids. And speaking of betting, if you don't want to take that one, listen, I don't blame you, but I do have more for you, courtesy of our video sponsor for today, MyBookie. That's right, guys. MyBookie is the spot to go if you guys are looking to place some bets on this card for Saturday. If you're going with Jake Paul, if you're going with Tyron Woodley, check out MyBookie. And if you guys want to sign up, use code WADE and receive up to $1,000 in deposit match bonuses. You can use it on this event, other events coming up, or the NFL football season is also just around the corner if you guys are looking to put some bets down on your favorite teams. Again, use promo code WADE when you sign up and you'll get up to $1,000 in deposit match bonuses. I cannot stress this enough. If you are going to gamble, please do so responsibly. Thank you to MyBookie for sponsoring this video. And now, let's get back to the breakdown. All right, so there's a lot to get to. I'm not going to waste any more time. The final video before I see you guys on Sunday. Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley, the last press conference. What was said, does it even mean anything at this point? What went down, and who in their right mind would even think about disrespecting Mama Woodley? Breakdown, let's go.
He is the founder of Most Valuable Promotions. He is Jake Paul.
Jake Paul, ladies and gentlemen. I know he tried to come in looking like Buff Bagwell, but every time I see Jake without a shirt on, especially when he's iced out more than the fucking Arctics, he looks like Machine Gun Kelly's like older, bigger brother, Machine Gut Belly. Like, dude's nipples are so hard, he could cut right through all that ice he's wearing. Someone get this man a t-shirt and set the temperature to 85 degrees.
Keith and myself, we made the decision to go with Showtime, and seems like it's going well. Pre-buys on track, like the Floyd Mayweather-Logan Paul event. I texted Floyd last night. I said, got your pre-buys.
Jake's got the microphone out of its holster like it's fucking open mic night at the Apollo, and the crowd just crickets. No one gives a shit.
You know, today is actually Women's Equality Day, so
cool.
I told my mom this morning how much I love her.
Oh, you love your mom. Interesting. Cool.
And shout out to all the amazing women out there.
Shout out to all the amazing women, because we support women. Obviously, Jake Paul, of course, supports women. I'm just putting it out there. He's a good guy. He supports women, you know, 100%. I'm all on board with that. Just keep it in mind. Yo, Amanda Serrano is a fine boxer. She's a super good boxer, like 4 different weight division champ. And I'm just saying, god dang, she's looking good with those belts. Those that must be like a new shine kit that they put on the belts before they came out. Cause yeah, the belts are looking real nice.
Jake, is this the fight where all the naysayers, all the critics say, you know what, this cat's for real?
Yeah, 100%. You know, Tyron Woodley, he really is the chosen one. We chose him to get his ass beat. 5-time UFC champion.
It's not bad.
And people will see, oh my gosh, this kid can fight. He's got skills. He can take a punch. That gas tank is nice. That inside fighting is nice. That body work is nice. That jab is nice. I can fight southpaw too.
Stop. Jake is not going to fight southpaw. But as the kids say, my man's is capping.
That Jake is going to get hurt in a way we'd never even imagined. Explain that to us.
Yeah, I'm almost falling asleep over here because it's kind of
Yeah, you're going to be falling asleep on Sunday,
it's kind of
bitch.
disgusting.
Yeah,
The two things you can tell are that Jake is pretty comfortable and more comfortable than I've seen him in other press conferences. Ben Askren can verbally spar with Jake and pretty much dominate him. In this case, Tyron's not even trying to. Like, it's not his specialty. He doesn't want to. At this point, Tyron looks locked the fuck in. Tyron has experienced fight weeks enough to know when the talking's done for him, and it seems like he's gotten to that point.
Jake, how much of a step up do you feel that Tyron Woodley is for you in your fourth fight?
Big.
You know, it's a big step up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other fighter at 4 or 3-0 who's taking fights against, world champions. I want challenges. I want to push myself. If I'm in training camp, training, and I know I'm going to beat somebody, I'm not motivated.
It's not even the world champion aspect of it because, again, MMA not transferring to boxing in the same way. But really, it's a step up because, again, Tyron is a threat on the feet. He does have a massive right hand, and he has great hand speed and boxing experience to a degree. So, yeah, it is a step up, no doubt.
When you decided to fight Tyron, is there truly bad blood between you and him, or is there some level of respect of what he's accomplished in the UFC, and this is just a lot of talk?
No, I mean, there's no real respect. I'm going to show on Sunday that getting a UFC championship doesn't mean shit in the world of boxing.
So what Jake's saying isn't fully right, and he's also not fully wrong. He's somewhat right that, yeah, UFC championship doesn't mean you're going to come in and box Jake's face off, but he's also somewhat wrong because I don't know how many hundreds of interviews Jake's given over the last week to 2 weeks or just the entirety of fight camp. He has said multiple times that he does respect what Tyron's done in the UFC, but it's different in boxing. So that's a flat contradiction to what he's been saying for the last month because he's on stage and trying to build the fight. But nevertheless,
to be honest, so I don't respect what he's done at all. And
you just said you did 2 seconds ago. Why is it that so many people around the world want to see you not only lose, but be embarrassed and sent to that place where time doesn't exist?
There's a lot of people that are jealous that don't think I deserve to be in this spot, that wish they could be here. And I'm polarizing. I get it,
he's not wrong.
Do stupid shit. I go to press conferences with my shirt off because I don't give a fuck what people think.
I think the reason Jake goes to press conferences with his shirt off and does the stupid shit isn't because he doesn't care what people think. It's because he does. And he understands that doing these things will get a reaction out of people. He cares so much about drawing their attention that he does these things. He can say, I just don't care. But in reality, the marketing genius, if you want to call him that, inside of Jake's mind is saying to him, what's the 1 or 2 things I can do to get that reaction, to get people to care about what I do?
I am overlooking Tyron Woodley. When I know what's going to happen, when I'm confident in my skill, I'm already thinking about the next opponent.
Didn't he just say in his last question or a couple questions before, when I know I'm going to beat an opponent, then I'm not motivated? And then he just said, I am overlooking Tyron Woodley. So what the fuck are we doing? Jake is a walking contradiction. It would take the greatest philosophers, William Shakespeare, and a brain surgeon to follow the interweavings of Jake's mind and how it comes out through his face. I don't understand this. All right, so yes, there is the first part of the press conference. And of course, because it's fucking Jake Paul and everyone attached to him has to do some dumb shit. So let's take a look at the post-press conference scuffle that went down right after face-offs. I have a couple of angles of this scuffle that went down, but this is the initial one of kind of what everyone either heard or saw and drew conclusions from, okay? So right here we have Jake Paul's mom. This is great for context, but she's sitting directly next to Tyron Woodley's mom, right? They're sitting together. They're super nice to each other. They're saints of the earth. Can tell your mom you love her because they all deserve that. This is where things get a little dicey because here is one of Jake Paul's team members, the strength and conditioning coach. They say he's a strength and conditioning coach. I feel like he's more of a jogging buddy for Jake. If you see him already, it seems like there's a back and forth going on between these two. All right, so this is actually an Instagram video. I don't know if the cameras picked it up, but you can hear how this altercation starts in the crowd. So just take a listen here. The first things that are said are that's Jake's strength and conditioning coach saying, that boy don't believe in himself, bro.
Scared.
He's scared.
Your team. You talking about your team. You don't got a team. You don't got no support. He nervous. He worried about all the orange in here.
He's worried about all the orange in here. First off, Tyron versus all 15 of them, it'd be a pretty fucking close fight. The first one that Tyron would get rid of, by the way, is the fake-ass fucking strength and conditioning coach, failed football player that doesn't do anything but hold the towel and the water bottle for Jake Paul and go with him on his nightly jogs. That guy, yeah, he's getting tossed on his fucking head.
We ain't in the third grade, mom.
Tyron Woodley's mom and sister are responding outwardly to just him saying, and other people saying he's nervous, he's scared, by saying, no, he's not, and that's my baby, or whatever she said. And then he turns around to her directly and says, we're not in 3rd grade anymore, mama. We're not in 3rd grade. So the things that we see here, they're not disrespectful to him, right? He thinks it's funny. You hear him laughing. You hear others in the room laughing. What he said isn't the most disrespectful thing in the world, but it doesn't matter if he thinks it's disrespectful. It doesn't matter if anybody but the person he's saying it to, Mama Woodley, thinks it's disrespectful. And that in its own right is what's wrong with this. You shouldn't be talking to Mama Woodley or anybody's mom at all. You shouldn't be chirping them at all. You're not a fighter. BJ Flores was on this show saying there's 3 people in that camp that have any fight experience, knowledge, or ability, and none of those 3 were you, pal. But again, if he's chirping Tyron, who's a part of the fight, that's one thing, even though he's still shouldn't be doing that because he's not a part of the fight. He's basically a fan. But when he turns around and does it to Tyron's mom, who's not a part of the event at all, and continues doing it, that's when you have a little bit of the disrespectful nature of this, and it just shouldn't have happened.
What are you talking to, dog?
Hey, Ty.
You talking to my mom, man?
Yeah, he's talking to your mom.
No.
I'll fucking sleep you right now. What about
Do it then, bitch.
Tyron says, I'll sleep you. Jake is now antagonizing it and trying to instigate it. Do it then, bitch. But I thought it was Women's Appreciation Day. So when your team member starts chirping at Tyron Woodley's mom, then you acknowledge it, then encourage it, and double down by saying, yeah, then do it, bitch. Really nice stuff, Jake wanting to instigate more of a big deal out of this on Women's Appreciation Day, by the way. This should not have happened, and Jake for damn sure shouldn't be encouraging it.
No, get your dog. No, get him now before he get f***ed up. And I want a fucking apology. Or it's like that. Let's get to the fight. And now, let me go. I don't know who you are, but let me go.
Yeah, dude. You real brave man in that fucking blue blazer. I don't think I've ever seen Tyron that fucking heated. I gotta be honest. This dude was playing with death right here. He was playing fucking Russian roulette, grabbing Tyron by the shoulders. So on one hand, we just saw Jake basically say, this is Women's Appreciation Day. Amanda Serrano's the co-main event. I appreciate the ladies in my life like my mom. And then basically tell Tyron Woodley, yeah, my boy's talking shit to your mom. What you gonna do about it, bitch? And now we get what I assume is Jake trying to weasel his way out of the things he just said and the things that maybe he doesn't know were caught on camera. Here we go.
No one was just acting up for no reason. Everyone was talking trash, and it just escalated too fast. Not a good look. And I wish it was, if it was anything else, I'd be like, cool, let's run it. But when it's family members and moms on Women's Equality Day, I'm like, I don't know about this.
Oh, but that's not what you said a second ago. That's completely the opposite of what you said a second ago when you acknowledged that they were talking shit to Tyron's mom and then told him to do something about it. Bitch, I think I heard correctly.
You know, I don't encourage it. I didn't want that to happen.
You said, yeah, he's talking to your mom. What are you going to do about it? You got caught in 4K. All right, so there is the full breakdown of the press conference, all the shenanigans that took place after. With all that out of the way, this might well be the most important part and why you guys came to the video. My prediction. For me, this fight is a lot closer than just one guy wins by knockout in the first round or the other guy does. I think this fight goes a lot later, even into the 7th, 8th rounds, and we might even have a decision on our hands. Now, this is why. Both guys possess pretty decent knockout power. We know that from Tyron Woodley. He's got dynamite. He's had it for the last decade in the MMA ranks. He's put guys down on one punch. Jake has done that in all 3 of his fights as well. For me, when I look at that, I see 2 guys that are going to be very patient, especially early on. Jake's going to stay behind his jab. Tyron's going to be selective to the point of almost picky, I think, in those first couple of rounds, not to exert too much energy and to see again what Jake brings to the table as far as how aggressive he's going to be. Now, if you're in the corner of Tyron Woodley, patience is the way for Tyron to win, but it has to be an offensive patience, if that makes sense. It can't be on the back foot. He does need to make Jake uncomfortable by putting pressure on. And if he does that consistently for the first 4, 5, 6 rounds, his chances to win go through the roof. Now, on Jake's side, I think they know what Tyron brings to the table, at least what they've seen of Tyron. He's going to try to use this newfound boxing experience and maybe a couple of techniques that he's picked up from Pedro Diaz in the last 4 months or so. He's going to use that, especially early, but they're banking on the fact that Tyron can't keep that up for all 8 rounds. And when he gets desperate, or when he gets tired, or when those things that he's learned over the last 4 months aren't working, then Jake's going to overwhelm him with volume, pressure, and eventually catch him and knock him out. So for my pick, I think this fight comes down to a couple things. Whose strengths are greater than their weaknesses, and who is more prepared for the opponent's strength? Who has got the gas tank and the ability to continue to surge as the fight goes on? Who is going to go like this as the fight increases, and who is going to start to taper off? I do think I have the answers to that, and this is an educated guess because there is a variable amount of unknowns when you have a fight like this with Jake and with Tyron, but my pick, and it might surprise you guys, listen, it surprised me to a degree. I've been thinking about it for months now. I'm going with Jake Paul. Now, before you guys get the pitchforks out and gather in town square looking to burn my house down, just give me a second to explain, okay? Because yes, Tyron Woodley can win this fight. They are closer in skill level, in my opinion, than a lot of people are giving it credit for. But Jake has been doing this sport specifically for the last 3 years, whereas Tyron, yes, he can strike, absolutely. But in boxing range, he's never been as successful with his striking as he has when he's been able to set it up with wrestling or counter off a big shot as guys are a little too aggressive coming in. Or again, one of these exchanges where he's flurrying forward in a straight line run toward Jake. And the difference that Tyron's having now is the weapons he uses to set up his shots are unavailable to him. Tyron's a great defensive fighter, but he's going to need to be more than that in this fight. And when the big right hand, which I think he has about 12 to 15 of, if those don't land, and if Jake can find a way to avoid them, especially early, then that's where the problems lie. And what happens with Tyron then? And by the way, when I pick this way, I fully know that the Wade curse is real, and you guys are always talking about the Wade curse and how if I pick someone, they lose. And yes, I do want Tyron to win, but that's not why I'm picking this way, and I'll never pick that way because what kind of asshole does that? I'm going to give you guys the real, authentic me every single time I pick. If I pick someone, it's because I think they're fucking going to win. If it doesn't work out, you guys talk your shit in the comments. I eat it like a fucking McDonald's McGriddle, and then we move on to the next fight. I don't know if Tyron has an answer other than this big right hand for Jake's volume, and who's going to be more technical in the pocket, getting out, changing angles, adjusting mid-fight. Again, strictly in boxing, I think those go to Jake. I don't like it. I do want Tyron to win. I'll be wearing my fucking Mama Woodley shirt. I want to see you guys there because there is one question that remains, and I can't answer it. Neither can you guys or any other YouTube commentator. These right here are going to be the final answer, and that is who wins this fight, who walks in and gets their arm raised. Is it going to be Jake Paul or Tyron Woodley? I cannot wait. I will see you guys there, and I guess we'll find out.